Thanks to everyone who helped put this event together, for everyone who played a role in the task force and informing the collective to advance the work of the task force. And my name is Raul Alvarez. I'm the executive director for CAN, the Community Advancement Network, and I was not a co-chair of the work group. I was a member, but I'm standing in for Dr. Eric Tang and Dr. Jane Rivera, who couldn't participate today, but they're very capable and knowledgeable individuals who led our group. And like the other groups, we easily had over 25, 30 people involved, and most of us were not on the main task force. So there was a lot that went into the work of the task force outside of just the task force members themselves. So we appreciate everyone who participated. And again, our arena is real estate and housing. Austin has long tolerated racial and economic residential segregation and done little to address declining ethnic, racial, and economic diversity. This has resulted in gentrification and widespread displacement of people of color in our city. The quality of life for Austin is harmed by our failure to confront unaddressed racial inequality in our city. Economic competitiveness is eroded. The city's workforce is critically constrained, and small business development and cultural assets are stifled. Our work group has recommended that Austin undertake 3 initiatives to overcome institutional racism in real estate and housing. The first initiative calls for implementing an anti-displacement program to combat gentrification and involuntary displacement in traditional neighborhoods of color. The work group has recommended that the city expand the number of affordable units built and that affordable units be accessible throughout the city. Ensure new affordable housing is large enough to house families with children. These are the types of families most impacted by displacement. And that the city conduct an assessment of neighborhood equity for all Austin neighborhoods, including an analysis of affordability, integration, diversity, quality of public schools. Such a tool can help us ensure we ameliorate and don't exacerbate racial and economic segregation. Our second initiative advocated for increasing affordable housing in high opportunity areas. Specific actions included creating a dedicated fund separate from the low-income trust fund for the preservation of existing and development of new affordable housing. That we adjust affordable housing goals so that they're more deeply affordable, right? Instead of focusing on 80% of the median family income, which is still very high in Austin, that we focus more at 50% of the median income for home ownership and 30% median income for rental units. And that, of course, the city and we all work to identify funding sources or new funding sources, employing tools such as tax policy, incentive programs, fee waivers, private funds, etc. The third initiative advocated by our work group calls for making Austin a national leader, an innovation center, and an applied laboratory for neighborhood affordability, racial and ethnic integration, diversity and inclusion, and that we work with our higher ed partners to establish a joint center for urban affordability, integration, diversity, and inclusion, and that we support neighborhood nonprofits like our community development corporations, community housing development organizations to serve as laboratories for neighborhood and housing and equity and inclusion. And finally, I would just say that an appropriate solution, right, for addressing racial injustice in our community will require significant public spending and bold policies. A solution also demands that Austin plant a new crop of inclusive community building practices whose purpose is to cultivate an economically, ethnically, and culturally diverse city. Thank you for this chance to share a little bit about our work, and I think I'm handing it over to the education work group. Yes.